What if Lionel Messi's Miami story isn't the ending, but the calm before one final storm? One single tease has the entire football world questioning whether MLS can really hold on to the greatest of all time. If Messi leaves, it doesn't just change a club, it reshapes leagues, legacies, and football history itself. And the reason behind it isn't what anyone expects. Stay with me because the next detail changes everything. We'll explain everything in this video step by step. Don't skip. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up because football rumour season has just shifted into overdrive. Just when you thought Lionel Messi's story was settling comfortably under the Miami Sun, Neymar Jr. throws a matchstick onto the rumour bonfire. A single tease, a playful comment, a knowing smile, and suddenly the football world is spinning. Is this just banter between brothers in arms, or the first crack in MLS's dream storyline? Remember, this is Lionel Messi we're talking about, the man who conquered Europe, lifted the World Cup, rewrote football history, and still plays like time owes him a favour. MLS welcomed him as a king, stadiums sold out in seconds, jerseys vanished from shelves, and American football culture felt the Messi effect in full force. But behind the goals and celebrations, there's always that question, what's next for a man who's already done it all? Enter Neymar Jr., the showman, the provocateur, the friend who knows Messi better than most. When Neymar speaks, especially about Messi, it's never random. It's laughter mixed with mystery. And this time, his tease hints at something bigger than Miami, a move beyond MLS, a final dance elsewhere, one last challenge before the curtain falls. Let's not forget the history here. Barcelona glory, Champions League nights, tears, trophies and broken defences. Messi and Neymar turned football into art. And when paths split, the world felt it. Since then, injuries, criticism, comebacks and resilience have defined Neymar's journey, while Messi kept stacking achievements like they were training cones. Two superstars, two very different roads, still connected by destiny and now by rumours. Is Messi itching for another competitive fire, a league that pushes him one last time? Or is Neymar simply stirring chaos for fun, smiling as fans lose their minds? That's the beauty of this story. Nothing is confirmed, but everything feels possible. One comment, one tease, and suddenly the football universe is holding its breath. Because when Neymar hints and Messi listens, history has a habit of following. Stay locked in because this saga is far from over. Neymar Jr.'s playful tease didn't arrive like an ordinary comment. It landed like a flashbang in the middle of the football world. One casual remark, one light-hearted smile, and suddenly timelines were exploding, debates were raging, and fans across continents were asking the same question at the same time. When Neymar speaks about Lionel Messi, nothing is ever harmless. Their history gives weight to every word, and this time the tone felt different. It wasn't loud, it wasn't dramatic, but it was precise enough to trigger speculation that Messi's story in MLS might not be the final chapter after all. The timing made it even more explosive. Messi has already transformed MLS beyond recognition, dragging global attention toward American stadiums, lifting Inter Miami from obscurity to relevance, and making the league a weekly headline in Europe, South America, and Asia. His arrival wasn't just about goals, it was about credibility, culture, and belief. Yet football has never been kind to comfort. For players of Messi's stature, comfort can feel like stagnation, and Neymar's tease felt like a reminder that legends rarely sit still for long. What made the moment truly powerful was the messenger. Neymar isn't a random pundit or former teammate watching from afar. He's someone who shared dressing rooms, training sessions, and the biggest stages with Messi. He understands Messi's mentality, his restlessness, his obsession with the game, even after winning everything. When Neymar hints at something beyond MLS, fans don't hear speculation, they hear insight. They hear someone who knows how Messi thinks when the spotlight dims and the next challenge begins to whisper. Social media reacted instantly, turning a single tease into 1,000 theories. Some saw it as harmless humour, Neymar enjoying the chaos he knows so well how to create. Others read it as calculated. A subtle message that discussions are happening behind closed doors. Every possible destination was thrown into the conversation, from emotional returns to familiar grounds to bold, unexpected moves designed to shock the football world one last time. The lack of clarity only added fuel because uncertainty is the most powerful ingredient in football drama. Behind the excitement, there was also tension. MLS supporters wondered if their golden era could be shorter than expected, while traditional football markets felt hope creeping back in. Messi leaving MLS wouldn't just be a transfer, it would be a statement about ambition, about unfinished business, about the eternal pull of elite competition. Neymar's tease reopened that door, reminding everyone that football stories are never as linear as they seem. This is why that single moment mattered so much. It wasn't about contracts or confirmed talks, it was about possibility. Neymar didn't promise anything, but he planted a seed, and in football, seeds grow fast. The idea of Messi stepping outside MLS again suddenly feels real, not because of official news, but because someone who knows the truth better than most chose to smile and hint instead of staying silent. Lionel Messi. His legacy is already carved into football history, yet the most fascinating part of his journey is that it never feels complete. World Cups, Ballon d'Ors, Champions League nights, record-breaking goals and unforgettable moments have built a resume that no longer needs validation. Still, Messi has never played like a man protecting a legacy. He plays like someone chasing the next challenge. That mindset is why every rumour about his future carries weight, and why the idea of one final elite test continues to feel believable. After conquering international football with Argentina, the pressure that once followed him like a shadow finally lifted. The World Cup win didn't slow him down, it seemed to free him. His move to MLS was seen by many as a victory lap, a chance to enjoy football away from constant scrutiny. Instead, Messi turned it into another stage for dominance, lifting standards, breaking attendance records, and forcing the world to pay attention to a league that had long lived outside the global elite conversation. Even in a supposedly relaxed environment, his competitiveness never faded. Yet players like Messi are driven by more than applause. Elite competition sharpens them, gives meaning to every sprint and every touch. For years, Messi thrived under pressure, carrying expectations for club and country that would have broken most players. The roar of Champions League nights, the tactical battles, the relentless intensity of top-tier leagues shaped him into what he is. Walking away from that environment entirely feels unnatural for someone who has lived inside it since his teenage years. Age, of course, is part of the conversation. Messi is no longer the teenager bursting past defenders with reckless speed, but his evolution has made him more dangerous in different ways. Vision, timing, intelligence, and control now define his game, allowing him to influence matches without relying on physical dominance. This adaptation fuels the belief that he could still compete at the highest level, even if only for a short, carefully chosen chapter. There is also the emotional aspect of unfinished business. Footballers of Messi's calibre often feel the need to close their careers on their own terms, in environments that challenge them mentally and tactically. A final elite challenge wouldn't be about proving doubters wrong, it would be about personal satisfaction. It would be about testing himself one last time against the very standards that built his greatness. Every achievement Messi has collected has raised the bar, not lowered it. Comfort has never been his defining trait. Even after winning everything, he continues to play with hunger, reading the game faster than those around him, still demanding excellence from teammates. That hunger is why speculation about his future refuses to die. The idea of Messi seeking one final challenge resonates because it aligns with who he has always been. A competitor disguised as a quiet genius, driven not by noise, but by the internal need to keep pushing, to keep measuring himself against the very best, even when the world believes there is nothing left to prove. The bond between Lionel Messi and Neymar was forged in one of football's most electric eras, a time when Barcelona weren't just winning matches, they were redefining how the game could be played. On the pitch, their connection felt instinctive, almost telepathic. A glance was enough, a subtle movement enough, for chaos to unfold in opposition defences. Messi's calm genius and Neymar's flair blended into a partnership that turned pressure into entertainment and big nights into memories that still echo across football culture. Off the pitch, that connection ran even deeper. They weren't just teammates sharing goals and assists, they were friends sharing trust, laughter, and responsibility. Neymar arrived at Barcelona as a global superstar in the making, but it was alongside Messi that he truly learned what it meant to carry expectations at the highest level. Messi, already established as the heartbeat of the team, embraced Neymar not as a rival but as an equal, allowing him space to express himself while guiding him through the realities of elite football. Their success together wasn't accidental. It was built through shared battles, long seasons, and moments of adversity that strengthened their understanding. From dramatic comebacks to trophy celebrations, each experience layered their relationship with meaning. When they lifted major titles, it felt less like individual glory and more like a collective achievement driven by mutual respect. That period created a bond that goes beyond statistics and highlight reels, When Neymar chose to leave Barcelona, the football world saw it as a shocking split. For the first time, their paths diverged, and with that separation came different challenges. Neymar chased leadership, spotlight, and independence, while Messi remained the anchor at Barcelona, carrying the club through transition after transition. Despite the distance, the connection never disappeared. Public admiration, private communication, and subtle gestures kept reminding fans that their relationship hadn't fractured, it simply evolved. Years later, when they reunited at Paris Saint-Germain, the dynamic felt familiar, yet different. Both players had matured, scarred by criticism, injuries, and immense pressure. Their chemistry still surfaced in flashes of brilliance, but the environment around them was heavier, more complicated. Still, even in a turbulent setting, their understanding on the pitch remained visible, a reminder of what they could create together when circumstances aligned. This shared history is why Neymar's words about Messi resonate so strongly today. He isn't speculating from the outside. He's speaking as someone who has walked the same path, shared the same dressing rooms, and understood Messi's mindset during the most demanding phases of his career. Neymar knows when Messi is content and when he's restless, when he's enjoying the game and when he's searching for something more. Their bond adds credibility to every hint and tease. Fans don't just hear rumours, they hear echoes of a partnership that once ruled world football. The Barcelona era wasn't just a chapter in their careers, it was a foundation that continues to influence narratives today, shaping how people interpret Neymar's comments and Messi's potential decisions, because when history like that exists, even the smallest signal feels loaded with meaning. One comment was all it took to send the football world into a frenzy, proving once again that Lionel Messi doesn't need to step onto the pitch to dominate headlines. In an era where news cycles move fast and attention is fleeting, a single tease connected to Messi was enough to freeze the conversation and redirect global focus. That reaction alone speaks volumes about his position in the sport. Long after achieving everything imaginable, Messi remains the axis around which football narratives still revolve. The debate that followed wasn't limited to one league or one fan base. Supporters from South America to Europe, from North America to Asia, all leaned in at the same moment. Traditional football powerhouses felt a surge of hope, MLS fans felt uncertainty, and neutral observers simply enjoyed the chaos. The fact that everyone had an opinion, a theory, or a preferred outcome highlighted how deeply Messi's presence is woven into the global game. Few players in history have commanded that level of universal attention so effortlessly. What makes this phenomenon even more striking is that it wasn't driven by official statements or concrete news. There were no press conferences, no leaked documents, no confirmed negotiations, just a comment, a smile, a hint. Yet that was enough to ignite endless discussions on television panels, podcasts, and social media platforms. Messi's influence turns whispers into headlines and possibilities into perceived inevitabilities. This control over the spotlight isn't manufactured, it's earned. Years of consistent brilliance, humility, and professionalism have built an image that fans trust and respect. When Messi's future is questioned, it feels important, not artificial. People sense that any move he makes carries meaning beyond personal ambition. It affects leagues, clubs, commercial markets, and even how football is consumed worldwide. The debate also revealed something deeper about the sport itself. Football thrives on stories, and Messi remains one of its greatest storytellers, even in silence. His career has been a sequence of chapters filled with triumph, disappointment, resilience, and redemption. Each potential decision now feels like the final pages of a legendary book, and fans are desperate to know how it will be written. Speculation surrounding Messi doesn't fade because it taps into emotion. Supporters project memories, loyalties, and dreams onto his journey. Some want nostalgia, others want one last competitive battle, and some simply want to witness history unfold again. A single comment reawakens all of that, reminding the world that Messi's story still matters deeply. The spotlight follows Messi not because he demands it, but because football itself hasn't learned how to look away. Even as new stars rise and new narratives emerge, his name still carries unmatched gravity. That is why one remark can dominate conversations, why debates spiral so quickly, and why the football world collectively pauses whenever his future is even lightly questioned. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe.